Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for another review. This is actually going to be for another album review that is coming out at midnight tonight for Kesha's newest album, Gag Order, that I did get done listening to today, this morning, of course. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this about 39 minute album for Gag Order by Kesha, her newest album, and let you know my thoughts on this new album of hers. So let's dive into this album review. Now, this album was announced a few weeks ago, and pretty much with the two singles that came out for this album, which was Fine Line and Eat the Acid. It starts off with Something to Believe in, and pretty much it's a good start, in my opinion, to open up this album. So I really like this song. The production in it's pretty interesting, and it leads into the next song, "Eat the Acid." So 5 out of 5 for Something to Believe in. I'm really feeling for the vibe for this track. Then comes "Eat the Acid," one of my favorite songs from this album, in my personal opinion. So really digging how Kesha's singing this track. It just repeats the same thing. You don't want to be changed like it changed me. Lyric, which definitely go check out my track review for that, and Fine Line. So pretty much 5 out of 5. Living in My Head is a solid one. This is where the album starts to stumble a bit with certain tracks. I think the first two tracks were the best songs, but then it starts to stumble. This one's not too bad, but there are some whiny vocals from Kesha that I'm not really connecting with. So 4.5 out of 5. Fine Line is just not my favorite song. It's decent, but it's not great. There are some rapping in it. I know she made that song particularly because of the Dr. Luke situation. I believe that's what his name was. Because she's just coping and expressing how she felt during that time when she had to go through that lawsuit and other things like that. So she's just expressing her feelings about it, which I understand that, but the song just, there are some lyrics that throw me off with this track, so 4 out of 5. Only Love Can Save Us Now was not a really good song. It was very disappointing. I'm liking the chorus a bit more than the verses. The verses are just crap, in my opinion. They don't really sound very good with how Kesha's singing it and rapping it. It just, it did not connect. It was a cringy song, in my opinion, so 2.5 out of 5. Then comes All I Need Is You, and that's a solid one. So I'd give that a 4.5 out of 5. I think the song and what it's talking about sounds pretty nice with some things, but there are some moments in the track that kind of disconnected me from her vocals from time to time, but still, it's a solid track, 4.5 out of 5. Then comes The Drama. That one was doing good for the beginning of closer to the end of the track. Then when you get to the last section of the track, like about a minute or so, she's talking about a cat noise or whatever, and repeating the same lyric so many times. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little ear gratingly annoying, in my opinion. So 3.5 out of 5. I think the first 3 quarters of the song is all right. Then it just leads into some cluttery garbage, in my opinion. So it's an average song. Then comes Ram Das Interlude. It's not a very long song. It repeats itself a few times with just the mixing in the track kind of is a little awful, but I think closer to the end of the track it gets a little better for the rest of the interlude. So 4 out of 5. Too Far Gone is a solid track, in my opinion. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's something. It's one of the solid tracks for this album. So 4.5 out of 5. Peace and Quiet is another track that I think is decent but didn't perform too well, in my opinion. I think it is what it is, I guess. So 4 out of 5. Only Love Reprise is a decent song too. Uh, Give me a second, guys. Got to pause the video. Sorry about that, guys. My mom was talking to me for a moment, and I have a fly in my room too. It's freaking annoying. I'm really sorry about that. Cause she was yelling out, "You going to Dollar General soon?" and all that. So yeah. Pretty much. Only Love Reprise is getting a 4 out of 5. It's not a very long track, but it's decent in my opinion. There is some weird vocals and with the little girl singing or saying something in the song. It just kind of weirded me out. Hate Me Harder is decent. I think certain moments of the track did alright, but then there's some rapping with Kesha's vocals that I'm not connecting with. But it's a decent song, so 4 out of 5. And the final track, Happy, ends the album off solidly, in my opinion. It's good for what it is, because there's some acoustic work that I can connect with, but overall, this track is solid for what it went for. Solid closing track, so 4.5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Kesha's new album, Gag Order, was not very interesting in my opinion. I think it's a mixed baggage album, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite album this year. I was a little disappointed with this album, with how it turned out. Basically, I think the only song I had a problem with was Only Love Can Save Us Now. That was the one that really brought the rating for this album down. Everything else was all cluttery, and then the first two tracks were the best, and then it just slightly goes downhill with certain songs. So for an overall score for me, I'm giving Gag Order by Kesha a 6 out of 10. It's in the middle with me. I just don't think it's my favorite album in my opinion. But the first two tracks were my favorites. Everything else just was solid, average, decent, and pretty disappointing. I think the disappointing one that really brought the rating down was Only Love Can Save Us Now. Wasn't a fan of that track. So 6 out of 10 for Kesha Gag Order. Thanks for watching.